folks, IB Sarah Rochelle, and welcome back to IB Chatting. If you follow my Twitter, you know that Friday I went to see a Mercy Me concert. And on that day, I was going to record a very different video than the one I'm going to do now. Because outside, when we were waiting to enter the venue to go into said concert, my sister and I, because that's who I went with, there were the lovely people that like to shout Bible verses at you. I tweeted my favorite thing of the entire evening is when the guy's like quoting from the Bible, something along the lines of, you cannot listen to others of how to live your life, because I think you're supposed to listen to God, or I'm pretty sure that's how the verse ends at some point. I don't know if I didn't look it up, and I really should have, and I might do that afterwards. He then proceeded to say, I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, I'm just here to share the good news, and I'm sitting... Little contradictory, sir, but that's okay. There was a second guy that came in later after he stopped talking, and that guy I liked a little bit less. And so, I was going to record a very different video, but I have had a couple days to calm down, and there's a good reason why I don't record anything immediately after the events, because I don't get upset at a lot of things. I do get upset when you start insulting people, like the Pope. All the people to insult. Please don't insult the one person that, though he's not quite there, is definitely trying. Person that's trying. Because nobody's perfect. Remember that. But insulting others is not the way to have an open discourse about beliefs or politics or religion or anything in between, because like you can't, even if you're approaching somebody who you very well disagree with, you can't walk up and say to them and just like say I don't like you immediately, because that's not, they're going to be put on the defensive already and not want to listen to anything you have to say. Be like, I disagree with you on this standpoint and here's why. Saying that is a completely different thing. It's like, okay, now I see what your point of view is and how you got to that thinking. Here's what I believe. And it's more open discussion with people ready to listen. So a lot of the problem is that everybody's on the defense on everything. And I am at fault too a lot of times, because I'm very stubborn. If you see in my videos where I try the same thing over and over again in a game and it doesn't work and I keep trying, I'm stubborn. I like to think that I'm right at all time. I'm slightly narcissistic. I mean, I may have issues other than that, probably a lot, but like, I'm putting videos on the internet that have my face, my voice, and I think I'm the best, and so I am definitely slightly narcissistic. But you still have to be like, okay, I need to take a step back and listen to what you have to say as well, because there's no discourse without somebody willing to listen to the other side. And sometimes it's a one-sided discourse, where one side is willing to listen and the other side is not. But usually, even if that happens, the one side that's willing to listen is already on the defensive and is less willing if all you do is insult them and their beliefs and their morals and their everything in between. I don't know where I'm going with this quietly, but you can't have that discourse in a set of anger. Like, it is completely okay to feel upset if somebody's insulting you, because that's human. Like, yeah, I was upset at quite a few people are upset at this guy. A couple of them walked up to these speakers and tried to talk to them, to maybe say their side, but they weren't listening. So, yeah, there's that. But yeah, I'm glad I'm trying to keep this not a more positive place than what's currently going on. But I'm willing and open to having conversations. So feel free, like, Tumblr is more of where I will post long text posts of just my thoughts on things. So if you want my thoughts on things, send me an ask on Tumblr and be like, hey, what do you think of blah blah? And I'll probably give you an essay. Not a quite full essay, but a partial essay. But that's the thing, is that's the place for it. That's something I can discuss. And if And if you asked for a specific topic for a video and wanted more full thoughts, I'd probably give you a video and then the essay underneath, because sometimes I'm a little more cohesive when I'm writing it out and can edit it better. If that makes more sense to my head. So, there's that. Feel free to send me a topic at any point in time and my thoughts on things, and I'm willing to give it. And we can have a conversation. But conversations can't happen unless you have to, like, are at a state of mourning. Like, it's fine to feel upset during a conversation, but make sure you take a deep breath and then continue on with what's upsetting you. Because a lot of the things is you can't be upset. No, you're allowed to be upset in a conversation because, yeah, some things are upsetting. But as long as you have reasoning for, like, the other side's not going to listen unless if you explain why you're upset. If you explain why you're upset and how that relates to your argument, that would make more sense. And I'm trying to tell you how to argue. Now I think I'm right again, and I'm probably really wrong. So feel free to yell at me in the comments. Nicely yell at me. Please keep bad language out because I'm trying to be as family friendly as possible. Not for advertising by any means. You think I earn anything from advertising? No, I have a regular job for a reason. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not forming the words quite correctly, but yeah. The other thing though is there's a little random blurb of how I would like to respond in these situations though with the people. This is the line of stop watching now because I'm going to get a little less family friendly from this point forward. Not less family friendly, but just a little more religious / politics on this point on. So stop here if you don't want to continue. But like, first of all, they all talk about false prophets. I'm pretty sure every single person on earth is a false prophet. Because we don't know, we weren't there, and even the Bible was written by a bunch of different authors. Now, they were first-person sources, still not direct words. God didn't write the Bible, a bunch of people did. So, there's that. So, false prophets just make me laugh, but the entire phrase, I'm like, we're all trying, okay? You're trying, we're all trying, so just calm down, and maybe try a different approach. That might be a little more better, but a little better because, how do we know you're not the false prophet? And second of all, this is 4 numbers. Second, I need to stop this video because I'm going to run out of recording time and I want to restart it in a second. Second of all, there's a part in Godspell that Jesus, because Godspell is about the Gospels of Matthew. One of the things Godspell is one of my favorite musicals, and I have it on DVD here, and I actually want to go back and watch it now because I love all the music in it, and it's one of the best. I highly recommend you go watch it. It's really good. Godspell, there's a part there, where Jesus is it's the part of the Bible and the Gospels where Jesus is talking back to the Pharisees. And the song goes something along the lines of, I'm not going to sing it because you will appreciate that. Lawyers and Pharisees, hypocrites that you are. The thing is, I have to say, alas, alas, all you lawyers and Pharisees, hypocrites that you are. It pretty much, the summary of the song, I'm going to just go with it. The summary of the song is, all the lawyers and the Pharisees, so the people that are telling people how to act, how to be religious, and selling religion, because the Catholic Church at one point definitely did sell religion. Then Martin Luther came along and was like, this isn't right, wrote his 95 Theses, and started Lutheran, and the Catholic Church's like, he might be right. Well, at least they acknowledge their mistake and are trying to continue, hopefully. But, so the thing is, he's saying that the lawyers and Pharisees are hypocrites because they say to act one way, but then they don't act the way that they're telling people to. They're not doing what they preach, first of all. Second thing is, he keeps sending prophets and preachers and sages and ages of rages of teachers to try and change their minds and show them a different discourse, and they're just not listening. And so it's just Jesus getting really mad at the people saying that their religion, that the religion that they both, I don't actually know if they share the religion. You know, I should read the Bible again. But I'm not going to because it's a really long read. I'll read bits and pieces of it later. But saying that, like, what you're preaching, you're saying these words, but you're not doing or believing what you're saying or acting as though you, in a way that corresponds with what you're saying. And he gets to a point where, like, it's just Jesus getting really upset. And he's calling them blind fools and stuff. And it's such, oh gosh, my phone is there because that's what I'm recording on, because I don't have a good camera. And I'm okay with that because this works and it's only one day a week and I'm done. But like, ages are I've seen you prophets and I've seen you preachers, ages and sages. And how the Pharisees, what they're preaching is they're dragging the people down with them because they're not preaching correctly either. They're saying they're selling religion or such, and it's just dragging the people down with them. And the favorite line is, "It makes them twice as fit for hell as you are yourselves." And then, "This nation, this generation will pay the price of it all." Pay the price of it all? Pay the price of it all. But like, I want to memorize that just to sing it back at these people that are preaching with the air quotes, because we're all false prophets. Might as well give my own version of a false prophet right back at them. I'm not brave enough to do that, nor would I like to make that much of a spectacle of myself. But half of me really wanted to record it. Like, thought of it afterwards. I'm like, I should have recorded that. I'm making great internet content, right? But I'm not here to make great internet content. I'm here for an open discourse. And I keep banging my table, and it sounds weird in the video. But like, we need to have open discourse, which means we need to both sides need to be like, okay, I'm probably right. I am right. I like to think I'm right. But maybe I'm wrong. So maybe I should hear the other person out, and I'm not even looking at the camera because I'm just gesturing. And like, that's, although certain things make me bitter, and there are certain sides that are very hard to hear, and I'm trying to work on that personally, but like, there's so much going on. I could have made a very different video, and instead you got this weird amalgam of thoughts and things I want to do in life. Oh, I still want to make this is my idea. If anybody steals this idea, I'm going to sue. I'm probably not going to sue because don't make that much. But like this, I want to do a live broadcast, like live in the streets musical of Godspell. But instead of New York, like the movie is in DC. Because you know the perfect place for the song that Jesus sings about the hypocrites and the Pharisees and making them twice as fit for hell, because they're already like so far removed from everything that they just think they're right and they're going to be saved anyway. So what does it matter what they're preaching in the first place? Is right outside the Congress and the Senate buildings, which I should know where they are because I am a U.S. citizen and I should know that as part of my U.S. education, but I don't. Like right outside those buildings, and right in front of the not Washington Memorial, Lincoln Memorial. What's the big park? The big park that all the famous speeches and stuff take place on. There's a perfect song that I had for that one. We all the salt of the earth, maybe? Was that what I was thinking there? There's a song there in the musical that I didn't know. But like, I want to do live production. But like, when I say live production, I mean like no marketing, no nothing. Like you organize with a news station to broadcast it, but you broadcast it as breaking news, as if it's like a flash mob scenario. But instead of a flash mob, it's a full-on musical. And you get people to follow you around, and I've already figured out the broadcasting for the sound, for the orchestra and everything. Like I've thought about this much more than I have ever needed to think about such an idea, but I want to do this. Like Godspell live in DC on Good Friday, because Good Friday is where you sing, not sing, but if you don't know the end of Godspell, at least the movie version, I've never seen the musical, is he gets crucified and they carry his body out singing Long Live God, and it turns into a mix of Long Live God and a Prepare Ye the Way of the Lord. But they carry his body back into the streets of New York, and the hustle and bustle goes around. Like, they go around the corner, all of a sudden the streets are back to being hustle and bustling thing. And I love that, because the imagery there is that he is resurrected, but he is resurrected as in each and every one of us. As you know, the Bible says you look for Jesus and all the people around you. But, like, even, so that's, I really love that imagery at the end. So I haven't figured that part out yet. But, like, broadcasting it live in DC would be so great. Like, I figured out some things. I want to know how it's marketed. Please, anybody that thinks this is a good idea, let me be involved as, like, a producer or something. Where I have a vision. I have a vision for it in my head, but I don't know if it will work. Oh, but Good Friday. Good Friday is the crucifixion day if you follow any sort of religious Catholicness. Holy Triduum, Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Easter Vigil. Palm Sunday pretty much does the same thing as Good Friday readings, but Good Friday changes the wording a little bit. But yeah, Good Friday would be the day, because the musical ends on more of a crucifixion type of imagery with the slight resurrection. And I want to do it so bad, but I know the East Coast closes on Good Friday, but so you'd have to have plants and stuff. But, like, I figure this is the other thing that would be great, is people, you have plans to follow, but you'd hope that people just kind of start following the news vans, because they're like, wait, news vans? People are interested in if there's news vans, and they all want to be on TV. But, like, just join a crowd, and the crowd just gets bigger and bigger, and if they know it, they sing along, and it'd be great. And I have a grand vision that would, even if it worked, and if it worked, it'd be a miracle, and if it didn't work, I don't know. If it didn't work, it's probably not going to work, but I have the grand vision, and it'd have to be on the year that the Matthew readings are actually read, because there's a little mix of other Gospels, but, like, Catholic Church rotates their readings every 3 years, and they do the Gospels of Matthew, Luke and John, or Mark. Yeah, Matthew, Luke, and John, and Mark just gets worked in, I think. Yeah, this is all the time I have. I'm Sarah Rochelle. This has been an amalgam of religious stuff, apparently, in this video. And, thanks for watching, peeps!
Subscribe.